Hello, today we're going to be talking about 5 ways you can prevent split ends and retain some length, so let's jump into it. Alright you guys, first and foremost, I want to state that hair actually weathers over time. It's a normal occurrence due to the fact that we shampoo our hair, we cleanse our hair, we detangle our hair, so natural weathering over time can be expected, but I'm here today to give you some tips of how to slow that process down so that we can retain inches for longer. And the first method I want to talk about is actually protein treatments. Don't click off the video though, okay you guys? Because let me tell you, our hair is actually made up of about 95% of protein, and due to everyday styling practices, shampooing, cleansing, detangling our hair actually naturally loses protein over time. And so using protein treatments to help strengthen the strands, help you to retain length for longer, and also help prevent some of that breakage and weathering of the ends. Now I have a video here where I talk about the importance of using hydrolyzed proteins. Those are proteins that are actually broken down into amino acids so that your hair can absorb them. And just because you tried one protein treatment that doesn't work for you does not mean that your hair automatically hates protein. And I would say those who have fine to medium strands ranging from low all the way to high porosity can do well with a protein treatment between 6 to 8 weeks. Those who have coarse strands may need protein treatments less often. Now the key here is to find a protein treatment that your hair actually likes, and if you tried again one type of protein, maybe hydrolyzed keratin protein, and your hair hates it, try something like hydrolyzed oats or hydrolyzed silk, because there are different types of proteins and sometimes your hair may prefer one over the other. And I also recommend trying it in a strengthening hair mask like the one that I have here you guys, because it's protein and moisture balanced. And that actually takes us right into tip number 2, and that is moisture. I really cannot stress enough about getting the proper moisture for your hair strands. Now we know we're entering right now into our winter season. If you're in the US, it's the winter season, it's cold outside, and inside it's hot and dry because we have our heat on death, okay? Well, unless you're like me, maybe you're not like me, but I like the heat to be on sweltering, and that can lead to drier strands. So one thing we really want to look at is our moisturizing regimen. Sometimes in the wintertime I will moisturize more often, and I'll make sure I will seal my hair with something a little bit heavier, maybe like a butter, because the butter helps to like lock in moisture for a longer time. Now on my channel I always talk about using something water-based before using something oil-based, and that still stands. Y'all know I always use my own hydrating leave-in conditioner, which is important to get hydration in before you seal that in. And then I always go in with my styler, and in the wintertime I will use either a heavier oil or a butter to lock in that moisture. Now another way to retain more moisture is actually considering doing a pre-poo prior to shampooing. A lot of times shampoos can be very stripping to the hair, so you can pre-poo with an oil. You can also pre-poo with Ayurvedic treatments, which y'all know I'm a big fan of on my channel. Also you guys, if you don't have any particular hair product that you actually love, I do have a ton of DIY leave-ins and moisturizers that you can use, like my slippery elm and flaxseed gel that you can make right in this video up here. Tip number 3 in preventing split ends is really considering your detangling practices, okay? And that means you're gonna look at the tools that you're using and make sure that they're not actually ripping out your hair or ripping out ends. And you really wanna be very gentle with this process. Now I used to be queen of sometimes just going through my hair and snapping the ends. If there's a little piece hanging, just breaking that. That actually was really destructive to your hair and can lead to more split ends over time. So if you guys do have those single strand knots, and this is kind of a tip within a tip, I am going to recommend trimming your hair, you guys. So detangling your hair properly, but if your hair is weathered, go ahead and go in with that trim and get your ends right, so that way whatever tool you're using can easily glide through without ripping any of your hair out. Trimming your hair on a schedule is so important. Don't allow your hair to have so many single strand knots, because again that can lead to breakage, and when your ends are breaking they're not going to retain length for longer. So get yourself on a good schedule, whether you DIY trim like I do, in which I put my hair into twists and then trim off the ends. If you're not confident in that, find a stylist that can help trim your ends and help you retain length for longer. So next up is gonna be sealing your ends, and I know it was a big controversy about not using oils and butters in your hair, but you guys, I'm here to let you know, and I've done a video on this, that there are different types of oils with different types of penetrating capabilities or sealing properties that can be useful for helping you to retain moisture for longer. And if you're not a fan of using oils or butters in your hair, you can still seal your ends with a heavier gel that also helps you to lock and retain moisture. I actually have a video here discussing the science of oils and butters and how when used properly, they can help your hair to prosper. Oils can actually be very, very beneficial to the hair, even repairing the hair, such as through like ceramide-rich oils, as well as helping to break down strand cohesion so that your strands don't rub up against each other, causing further wear and tear. And that brings us to the last point here, even though I feel like I've kind of mixed some of these points together, but it's protecting your ends, especially in the winter time, from either your clothes or protecting your ends in a protective style. Y'all know I love to do a protective style. It doesn't have to be just your typical ones that we think about like braids or twists, but there's all forms of updos. I'll insert some videos from the last protective style challenge that enable us to retain length because our ends weren't rubbing on our clothes. They were nice and protected and locked up against each other. And y'all, we grew some inches during that last challenge. So make sure if you're out in the cold or you're out in extreme heat to please protect your hair, protect your ends, so that way y'all, we all eventually grow our hair longer and help us to minimize split ends over time so we can retain moisture and inches for longer. All right, you guys, but that's it for this week. Let me know if you guys are interested in doing a protective style challenge for this fall winter weather, and be sure to check out some videos on the screen of some cute protective styles that you can do now. All right, that's it for this week. I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Also, if you're wondering what my hair is, it's just a puff. I just let the back down, that's all. You know, got me some inches. All right, seriously. Bye, y'all.